The usual tack is to be fairly analytic and then break down scenes or episodes or concerns I have with Buffy. This will be me working out a kind of work in progress. So any negative feedback or positive feedback will be welcome. So let me just get right to the juicy controversy. If you're a hardcore fan, you know that Willow became, quote, gay after Oz left. She had a relationship with Tara and then Kennedy in season 7. I will not do many spoilers for season 6 or 7. I will get into season 5 a little bit, but only a little bit. So, what is the dilemma? Well, I think it's twofold. One is very, very strange, and that is Willow's relationship to bisexuality. The basic canonical dilemma, and probably people don't care about this, but I think it plays into the relationships in a strong way, is they're denying she is bisexual. And several times when this question arises, and it does arise a few times, music episode, they get into this whole issue, well, oh, you don't trust me. You think I'm going to go back to, quote, Boys Town. And she's affirming, no, I am gay. I'm not bisexual. And it's even brought up with Anya, because Anya gets jealous that maybe Willow might do something with Xander. And Willow says, no, no, I'm gay. I'm not bisexual anymore. And that's the problem, because she was with Oz, so canonically she is bisexual, but the writers are saying, no, no, she's not bisexual. But we had entire seasons where she had a heterosexual relationship. Now she has a homosexual relationship. By definition, that is bisexual, so it was just very, very confusing. But then we get to an adjoining kind of controversy, which is not spelled out, but is part of what I think they're implying, namely that I guess bisexual people are unfaithful or more likely to be unfaithful, therefore they have to keep her gay. Now I want to be clear, I am a person of color, but I am not gay, I'm not queer, I'm not bisexual, so I don't know that experience in particular. But given that Kennedy is a woman of color, I do think I can say something there. But in terms of Tara and Willow proper, I think my main criticism, and I'll be consistent with Kennedy, is that the relationships seemed a little manufactured and constructed. I think Amber is also not a big. I think also Amber's not a very good actress, and that really hurt the series. But that's neither here nor there. She's very talented. She sings very well. She had a few good scenes, I think, in season 6, but she's just not at the level of Allison Hannigan, so it just felt really off. So if the dilemma with Tara and Willow is she just plays the super shy kind of victim, and that's basically her go-to characteristic. And Kennedy is much more aggressive. She's just more open about being sexual and desiring Willow. Tara is just very, very meek, and she asserts herself a few times, but her basic characteristic is to not be confrontational. In of itself, that doesn't ruin experiencing the relationship, but I think the way they structured the relationship with the seasons and the stories and the climaxes, no pun intended, really did a lot of damage. I think it would have been better if I were to give a very, very short answer how to kind of fix this would be they should have done the kind of big bad climax twists episodes per season, but then do an epilogue episode where they go more in depth into her relationships. Do the kind of big bad final confrontation episode, but then the final episode of the season should really be more an epilogue episode. I know with season 5 that would be very, very tricky, but there is precedent with Restless, and as far as I know, people do like Restless as an episode, so I'm really puzzled why they just didn't follow the Restless formula and just do more epilogue episodes. And luckily, season 7 does give us a little bit more of Willow's aftermath, but in season 5 and 6, a lot was laid out, but they never really follow up on it in terms of dealing with her relationships. That felt a little frustrating. So I would say on the whole, these were, for their time period, very, very remarkable attempts to have these kind of queer relationships. Again, I don't identify as queer, but I do recognize sometimes representation is important. People may not want to talk about it, but it is a lively subject. And I do give them a lot of points because technically the Kennedy relationship is an interracial relationship, so that was really powerful for that time period. But more and more, you got to be honest, it seems that there's no nice way of putting it. This is a very big set of white, straight writers and directors trying to craft stories that involved lesbians or lesbians of color which they were not, and so it just feels very childish in retrospect. And this demarcation point between, quote, bisexual and gay is never really spelled out. I guess at the end of the day that the bisexual characters canonically in the show are Faith and Spike, though with Spike that's only confirmed in Angel. I think with Faith we have enough in Buffy we can say she's bisexual. So I guess they were worried that bisexuality is tied to evil, and therefore if they made Willow bisexual, she is evil. They wanted to keep that away from her, but then we're back to they think bisexuality is evil. They seem to think if you're bisexual, you're gonna cheat on your partner, which doesn't make any sense because the heterosexual couples were not always faithful. It just was a really big mess. So that's my question, I guess, I'm working through is, what is bisexuality in the Buffyverse? I just don't think they ever figured it out. And insofar as they did figure out, it was a really bad stereotype they kept pushing over and over again and did not work with the season stories at all.